As each day rolls by, more and more police officers are coming up positive around the country. And this is raising a lot of concern. So, this story came out in the Washington Post, March 28th, 2020. Police in several cities test positive for CV, stirring fears of spread among first responders. 3 Houston police officers were recently in what their chief called a tussle with a suspect who was displaying fever like symptoms, a hallmark for CV. We immediately sent them home and they came up positive. All 3 officers. The officers in Houston are part of a mounting toll across the country as police officers and other first responders are falling ill with CV. Departments are now grappling with mounting infections in their own ranks as they navigate an extraordinary public health emergency. In New York, hundreds of uniformed officers have tested positive for CV. Infections have also been confirmed in departments in Boston, Chicago, Cincinnati, Dallas, Detroit, Los Angeles, Houston, Miami, Miami Beach, Milwaukee, Nashville, New Orleans, and Philadelphia, among others, along with sheriff offices across the country. You have to remember, as police officers, you can't walk around in biohazard suits. Tampa Police Chief Brian Dugan said in an interview one of his officers has tested positive for CV. We have to be able to get our guns, our radios, our handcuffs, that type of stuff. There's no way for a police officer to do their job and not potentially be exposed to the virus. Officers are still contracting the virus, even as police in some major cities have had fewer calls to answer. A Washington Post analyst reported crimes from more than a dozen cities, including the district, Los Angeles, Chicago, Dallas, and Atlanta, found a notable decline in crime that started when people started being urged in mid March to work from home and stay away from others. Most cities saw a 10 to 20% decrease in property crime. Violent crimes have remained relatively flat overall, the data shows, though police in some cities reported drops in some of those categories. But officers continue to confront the virus with departments nationwide quarantining waves of officers for possible exposure. 3 Tampa officers were potentially exposed after giving CPR to a person they later learned was infected. Officials in New Jersey said that 700 officers statewide have tested positive for CV. In New Orleans, the police spokesman said about 5% of the force is sick or in quarantine. Some agencies are mourning officers and personnel who have died of the virus. Detroit police said a 38-year-old 911 operator died Monday, and Captain Jonathan Purnell, a 3-decade veteran of the department, died Tuesday. The Wayne County, Michigan Sheriff's Office said a 63-year-old commander died Wednesday. The New York Police Department said Thursday that Dennis Dixon, a custodial staffer at police headquarters, was the department's first death from the virus. The toll only grew after that. On Friday evening, the NYPD said another civilian employee who worked in the precinct roll call office had become the second. Then Saturday, the department said Detective Cedric Dixon had died. You know, I went to school with a guy with that name. I did. I went to school with someone with that name. We have lost 3 members of our family in a little over 48 hours, the NYPD commissioner said Saturday. As I stand here, I cannot begin to describe what we are feeling. We are hurting, we are crying, and we continue to fight. The New York City has become the epicenter of the American CV outbreak, with more than 29,000 people confirmed to be infected with the virus and 517 dead from it, according to the New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. Some of the infected worked for NYPD. And see, this is why you can't have your whole country out here working. You see the essential workers coming down with this each day as they're out there, even the US Postal Service. Anybody that's working night right now, they are getting it. Many of them are getting it. Can you imagine a whole country going back to work? It would be millions of people before you get to the end of the week testing positive. So I don't know why Trump said people should go back by April 12th. That is just ridiculous. More than 550 New York Police Department employees have tested positive for CV, more than double the number reported just 2 days earlier, Shia said. And more than 4,100 people from the uniform part of the department are out sick. Wow, 4,100 people out sick? Damn. Police officials have said many of those testing positive were uniform officers. Shia called the situation facing the department deeply troubling. You are on the front lines of this, Shia said in a recorded message for officers. Firefighters and paramedics nationwide have also been diagnosed with CV. The New York City Fire Department said 235 of its people, including firefighters and civilians, have tested positive as of Saturday. In Kirkland, Washington, firefighters were quarantined after responding to calls at a life care center nursing home where there was a deadly CV cluster. While many professions have adapted to stay at home orders and official advice to practice social distancing by having employees work from home, core parts of police work can only be done by heading outside and interacting with others. Yeah, you're right, because they sure can't work from home. Police can't scour a crime scene for shell casings over Zoom, nor can they provide first aid to someone in dire medical straits from an office. So departments have responded to the virus by rethinking key aspects of how they police their communities. Mm-mm-mm. I don't know. There's really not much they can do when it comes down to the type of job that they do. You know, you can't apprehend somebody from home. You can only do these things if you are on the job. So, ladies and gentlemen, y'all, please tell me what you think. I can only see something like this getting worse because there's no way they can do their job without coming in contact with the public. There's just no way it can be done. And, when I see something like this, it makes me wonder what the real numbers are. It's got to be way higher than anything we're being told. Just think about all of these cops that are coming up positive and how many people they encountered out here just on their daily job. When you got hundreds of cops around the country getting this, how many people did these cops encountered on a regular basis? We know in many cases their family, and how many people in public that they could have possibly given this to before they even tested positive. I guess we'll never know, right? But please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.